Man, yours looks so clear.
Well, no, I just look so great.
Come on, movie star. Why? Like, is my MacBook old? Did mine not update or something? Where's my filter?
Welcome to the Captain's Lounge. This is the first podcast, mate.
Cap, I am so excited. Not only just to catch up with you, to
Yeah.
be on the first Captain's Lounge podcast. It is an honor. Thank you for having me.
Well, look, I had a list of questions, but they've taken my laptop, so they're all there. And I've been running around, dropping my daughter off to school. I didn't put the right shirt on. I got here in a rush, and life of juggling Saskia and trying to catch up with you.
Dude, I hear you, Cap, and I'm juggling 100 things over here. The long, crazy work day.
Yeah.
I'm on a boat. We're in the yard making a huge push for the West Palm Beach Boat Show. So, that work list is long. I ran home. We got the workout in. We had to skip the meal. I jumped right into the podcast. Like,
Uh, we know what happens when Culver skips a meal.
oh my gosh, right? You're like, hopefully we can get through this hour, all right.
Yeah, I know. I probably only got about 10 minutes with you now.
Uh,
Last time we caught up, we had an Aperol Spritz. We're in Fort Lauderdale. Your house was under construction, your investment. You found a love interest, and
ah,
you were going to church.
yes, Cap.
Where are
Those
we
are
at?
all accurate, and I'm right back on Marina Mile. You know the lay of the land very well around here. So, yeah, we're in the yard over at Bradford right now getting some work done.
You know
And
that one.
I don't know if I had been on this program when we had that April, but I've been working on this program going on about 8 months now.
Yeah.
But it's a 97 San Lorenzo, kind of small knit program, but new owner to yachting and great captain, great owner, great crew. And we kind of been building it from the ground up with our own culture. And it's been a really, really fun
That's
ride so far.
That's the way to start. If you can firstly get an owner that accepts the way that you're going to run the boat or the captain's going to run the boat
Yeah.
and start it from there and keep that mantra throughout. Like when you get a couple of heads of department and the captain's saying, "This is how I want it to be. I want it to
Mm.
be chilled vibes, or I want it to be perfection, or however he wants to put it." Then when the people fall apart or fall away and go and do their own thing or move on to other thing, if you can keep the nucleus there and that mantra there, that boat then gets a reputation, and you hold that. And they're the boats that are successful. So it sounds like your captain and your crew have got that nucleus going.
Yeah, no, it's good. And even the owner is just a 10. And you know how some of those relationships are so uptight and it's very formal, but our owner is like, this is his first boat. He's got enough money for about 10 of these boats, Cap, but he bought it off a buddy at a party. He said, let me
Yeah.
see if I like this first season of yachting. And we did the big New England season, and the whole time he's like, Culver, come have coffee with me.
That's
We're
cool.
going out, we're doing like adventures together, and it's a very like just really enjoyable atmosphere, which is nice.
It sounds like you're doing right by this owner, and you just keep the cost down and the effort up, and you got a long-term owner.
Yeah, and I feel like we built the core group, Cap, and this was the first test trial this summer, and it was like, man, he enjoyed it so much that we're going from the 97 San Lorenzo to the 50-meter quick. So we got to
Nice.
draft a dream team.
So
So
you
that
didn't dodge your question earlier. Love interest last time I saw you. How was that?
that's probably 5 heartbreaks ago, for
Yeah.
Culver. I
Okay.
think the girls really beat me up, Kev. You know how it goes for this one, and they knocked me down. But like you said, I always pick myself up, get back on the horse.
But she was right into fitness too, and
Yeah.
she went to churches with you as well. That's where you met her, no?
Yeah. So we stay in touch, and she travels a lot for her job and I travel for mine, so it's more of like,
Yeah.
when we get together it's good times, but yeah, it's not too official. We kind of give each other some space and try to catch up when we can.
That's
So
fine. I remember working with a gentleman, a deckhand. He was a professional surfer, and him and his girlfriend were together for so long, but they got to about 19. They were high school sweethearts, and he got in the professional world surfing tour. And he just said, "Look, this is my life. I'm going away. How about we meet up in several years back at this point?" And now they're married with 3 kids.
okay.
Yeah, so you got to let the wings flap around a little bit and go out there and come back.
Hmm.
But how the church? You're right into the church still.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
something? Was that something you had on prior to the show that
Uh,
you
you
invested
know
into?
I did, Cap, and you never really know like how the show's gonna, portray certain things like religion, politics, this and that. So I could sort of keep it to myself. But yeah, I enjoy going to church, and I think it gives you some good wisdom and mindset, and it keeps me in a good place. And Wild Culver's got to go somewhere to wash away those sins every now and then.
Oh, look, you can't say no to it. Like, I
No.
think a belief's a big thing, but I think if you believe in something, it keeps you
Yeah.
honest. And
Hmm.
regardless whether you're believing in meditation or believing in holistical values or energy or universal force or religion, there's a lot of goodness in it to keep you accountable.
Yeah.
And and at the end of the day, all of it, if you practice the good stuff, you're putting out good energy. And there's wrong people in every facet of any religion or any part of life. But at the end of the day, if you're throwing that energy out, it's a positive thing.
Yeah. No, and I think it's all about like, you and I are 5 a.m. club guys, but it's like it's you got to work all those muscles, mind, body, and soul.
I was 5 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see it.
Did you get
I
what? Did you get
Look,
what
it's
in this
hard. It's hard
morning?
being 5 a.m. club. Sometimes you go to bed at 8:30 and you're restless for a few hours, and then you think, "I've got to get up soon. I've got to get up soon," and then you toss and turn, and next minute it's midnight. You got to go, "Oh no!" So it's not until you get into that sleep pattern. Saskia helps when she's next to me. She's in bed at 7:30. So,
Okay.
um, but I'm out by 8:39, and then I wake up again at 1, just going, "Oh, is that enough sleep?" And I have to go back. So it's good getting up early. I love it. I'm in that zone right now.
Okay.
That big fitness. Like, how is the fitness going anyway? You've got I saw in your Instagram. You got like a little routine
Yeah.
and interval training and dietary going.
Mhm. Yeah, and I've always had a big fitness background and been involved in team sports and been blessed to have great coaches and strength coaches my whole career. And like, it's wild when you look back, you're like, man, I've been doing this stuff for over 20 years now. So I know it like the back of my hand. But I think that your training always revolves around your lifestyle. So the way I was training years ago in sports is very different than the way I train now in our jobs and what we do, Cap. So I think once I got into yachting, it was like, all right, we need to be doing, we obviously don't have the biggest gyms on board. So it's going to be more body weight stuff,
Yeah,
a lot of calisthenics, pull ups, a whole lot of stretching. We got to get in them scuppers. So you can't be pulling that back. But
I've seen a huge. I've seen a huge. Sorry to interrupt there.
no,
Go.
like, you're always designing it around your lifestyle, but you're always trying to keep it fresh and fun at the same time. You never want to be
Yeah.
working out and being like, I hate being here. And I rarely have those workouts. So I try to, it's more of a mental release at this point in my,
Oh,
exercise career that, gosh, I just feel better getting that workout in.
I procrastinate so much, but
Yeah.
that's the old knees and the old shoulders. But
Yeah.
when I do it, I feel fantastic.
Yeah.
Even if I just do anything, I wake up in the morning, I do my stretches.
Mm.
I just ordered some kettlebells, got them delivered, so I'm doing a lot
Okay.
more kettlebell. I
Nice.
do the bands all the time. It's so difficult on a yacht. Your routine's just all over the place. And
Oh,
look,
it's tough.
if you don't get your food in and you don't get your workout, there's all hell to firing off for you.
That is
Um,
true.
I liked your program, but how do you do it on a boat? Like, how do you get that time just to? And the sleep deprivation on a boat too. It's real,
It
And then
is.
you want to just get yourself up and get into it and do it. You're very good at it. I don't think many people have got the discipline you have to do what you do. Like, you were going for runs at 5 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
during the show.
And again, I think, like I said, I think it's more of the show is such a stressful environment sometimes that you're more looking for that mental release and like it's just brought me grounded so I can get through this circus of a day.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, for me, it's like I've done it for so long. It's like a habit, like brushing my teeth, where I don't even think about it. It's like, yeah, we went out last night. I'm gonna get up and have to sweat out a few beers. I'll get the run in, get the
Keep it
movement
balanced.
in, and it's just part of my lifestyle at this point to where like it doesn't take a lot for me to get going. There's always gonna be those days you're not really feeling it, but I know it's like, hey, let's just get through the warm up. All right, what muscle groups are we training today? What do we want to do? You kind of go from there, and again, it should be fresh, it should be fun, it should be enjoyable. I'm not out there doing like wall sits at 5 in the morning or deadlifts like killing myself. It's more just finding that movement. And I think that's the key to go in the long haul, Cap, that you probably could attest to is You got to keep your body moving.
Yeah, I live by balance in everything. Yeah, same as you. If I feel like I need something, I'll do it. Like even when people say, "Do you gamble at casinos?" I'm like, "Not at the moment,"
Yeah.
because last time I lost.
Yeah.
But if I come across some money and I'm at a casino and I feel like personally I'm up a little bit, I'll have a little dabble. But I
Yeah.
remember years ago, I think I lost maybe $100 or a couple of $100, and I'm like, no, I'm down. So I have
Yeah.
to wait for it to come back. That's how I operate. And I'm like that with life too. If I've had a few too many beers, I know I need to work out. If
Yeah.
I've eaten the wrong food, I know I've got to eat the right food. And I
Yeah.
just that's how I live.
Mhm.
And I on your Instagram, are you doing it? Are you thinking about doing an app, or you got a subscription, or or you just throwing it out there?
Yeah, I think for myself, Cap, is because I've worked, I graduated college with an exercise science degree. I worked as a strength coach, lacrosse coach, a football coach, and so it's always been a very big part of my lifestyle. And I've had it as a career before where I worked as a trainer and coach. And I think for myself right now, I'm in my yachting chapter, so it's really hard to invest in, you
True.
know what I mean? You can only put so many eggs in that fitness basket. But
Yeah.
what I love is that my inbox is always open. And I just
Yeah.
wrote my book Fit for Duty, which like kind of
Yeah.
like shares a little bit of light on what I do, what works for me, kind of gives somebody a little perspective on what can help get them started. But I think for myself right now, I'm just paying it forward to people like, hey, like, how old are you? What do you have going on? Have you tried this? Do you have kids? Are you a guy that gets to the gym all the time? Or are you like me and Cap where you're on the road traveling all the time? And,
Yeah.
I
That's
try to just,
You're the
yeah,
perfect person to be able to put something together
mm,
for the people on the go for sure, because we are.
yeah.
How's the food? Are you stealing Chef Keen's food
Uh,
recipes, or are you making up your own?
all the odds are always against you when it comes to health and fitness. We get no sleep. We have no gym. Your hours are all over the place when you can or can't work out. And then we have the world class chefs putting everything in your face in
Yeah.
front of you. And you're in that part, Cap, I think is the hardest of like, if you're cooking for yourself, it's easy. Boom.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Hey, I made it. This is what I'm
I
gonna
eat
eat.
so much less, and I eat well, and I eat what I
Dude,
want when I want at the right time.
yeah.
You
But
just
when you have
graze like a
someone
big heifer cow when you're on a boat. Like,
right? And when we work the way we do and we're under that stressful environment, you know what I mean? And you come in and those chefs lay it out, it's so easy to be like, just throw it on my plate. Let me sit down and just like kick back for a little. And that's where I think the most challenging self-discipline falls in for me is that I am a foodie, and I love to
yeah.
eat and like, it's like it's so easy and yachting to be like, I'm just gonna eat my feelings way today, and put down this whole steak. And we're
Isn't it good?
spoiled.
Isn't it good how things have changed over the years, though? I remember when I first started, the crew mess would have been hot tuna melts, French fries, and burgers, and no one would have been working out. They would have been waiting until their time off to drink 1,000 beers,
Yeah.
and then by the end of the season, you're just a sweating pimple mess. I
Uh,
think a lot of the crew now are very conscious to yoga, holistical practices,
mm,
meditation, and
yeah.
working out. And the chefs are really focused on good food as well. So,
Yeah.
although there is a lot, I think society, I think the generations are changing. They're really looking after themselves. You see the percentage in people, the younger generation, not drinking now. It's massively declining.
Yeah.
And people are understanding that, Alzheimer's my father just came down with Alzheimer's, is linked to food. And alcohol's a big derogative of that too. And healthy eating is the best thing to actually kind of combat that for our future. So it's good that people are heading that way.
Yeah, no, and you are what you eat, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and I tell people like I think everyone wants this like what workouts are you doing? What supplements are you taking? And it's like, man, 85% of it is like what you're eating. And a lot of you guys are like, you see a lot of people, it's like, man, your mouth is writing checks that your ass can't cash right now. Like, and it's like you gotta really dial in that diet, and I love to eat, and you've seen it, Cap, and it's like, shoot, man, that dinner service, if the steak's coming back, I'm taking
Yeah.
it down. We ain't throwing
Me
that
too. The
away.
M's are going for me. I love
Yeah.
the title of the book, Fit for Duty. It actually really resonates with trying to get ready for working on yachts. in an
Yeah.
environment that doesn't really have much routine. So that's pretty
Mhm.
good. So when you did the show, what was probably the best thing that came out of it? I know you're really close to your family, and that must have
Yeah.
been either cringeworthy sitting back watching it or
Shoot,
just a
Cat.
good laugh.
Cat, I know, and you and I watch it so differently than the people at home because we
Yeah.
had that experience together. So when I see Cap doing something, I swear Cap was doing that the last day. Why is he doing that on the first episode? We watch it a little differently, you know? And I know there's a lot of moments that I would watch that, and Chef King would be like, Culver, just calm down. She'd watch him before me, Cat. Be like, it's okay this week, you know? And I don't know. It's pretty funny, but I'm so blessed to have the family I do, and I'm
Yeah.
surrounded by such great people and in a wonderful support system.
It's good you sing that out too, through all your messages or posts and reels and stuff, you really throw that out there and it shows and it's good.
Yeah, no, and actually, Cap, I took on a new title this year. The CEO has become the Funkle now. We have a new grandbaby in the family. I'm old news, they don't care about this old dog no more. But yeah, I have a niece now. So that this is a very exciting chapter for us as a family to kind of watch a little girl come up in the
Yep.
ranks. And
That's
yeah,
good
no,
to
it's
hear.
it's
What's her
it's
name?
her name's Carter Kimberly. So she's lit. We got Chef Keem, we got Lil Keem.
I love the term funkle. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, yeah. So
Love it.
man,
But isn't
so
it good that that's probably the one best gift that I got out of doing this show is actually my mum and dad watching the show. Did you have a great time? You had a good time. You came back.
oh yeah. No, and I think I always like you said, Kevin, get so caught up in the little details or something, but at the end of the day, like what a life I've lived and been able to fly to Australia, meet
Yeah.
someone like yourself on the other side of the world, have this epic charter season under your belt, have a show come out where you're connecting with people all over the world now, and it's like I mean, you really are like, man, what a cool opportunity this has been. And I think since I even fell into yachting, Cap, I look at it like, man, I really was like, guess I'm washing boats this summer. Let's see. And then when I got into it, I was like, what did I get myself into? And the doors it's opened and the people I've met and the opportunities. And it's really it's cool when I take a step back and look at it. Really funny about the show was I had no previous expectations going on there. I was like, I've always been a team guy. I've always, my favorite coach, he said, nothing great was ever accomplished without a little enthusiasm. That's what I like lived my life by. But when I went on that show, it was like everything was organic. I didn't go on there and was like, I'm gonna be the CEO or Keith Stone was coming with me. This all unfolded organically and naturally on the show.
Yeah.
And like when that camera's rolling on us, it's so easy to just be ourselves and be natural. But like when it comes to me being like, hey guys,
Yeah.
Culver here.
It's
I'm
cringy.
so bad at it, Kev. I'm so bad at it too. And I'll go weeks where I'm like, just like everyone's like, hey, are you alive? I haven't seen you on any social media.
Cameos, even doing cameos, I'm like,
Oh,
I have to work up. I have to get the confidence to actually talk in front of the camera. And I was like, what? I'm actually on a TV show, but I can't actually put myself on a camera. It's quite
but
weird. But I think that shows how good the TV show is. Like, there's
yeah,
no way we would if we had any self doubt or scripted, we wouldn't be
no,
throwing those costumes on and getting out there. We're doing
no,
it solely for the tips. We're doing it
yeah,
solely for the money. We want that money. We want that tip,
yeah,
and we want to have a good time doing it.
exactly. And that's the part that like, I don't think some of the viewers at home get to see is like you and I in the bridge before one of these performances and you
Yeah.
getting me gassed up and being like, Culver, I'm giving you the full reins. Go out there and do your thing. And like us having our jokes about being in the sideshow band and we're not making money yet. We're still working for free. And like,
Yeah.
there's so many moments
I
like
was the
that.
manager of Keith Stone. That was so
Right?
funny. It's like, every time you got, no, wait up, you've got to talk to me. You cannot do
Yeah.
any side shows. I need to talk about it. And you'd be like, when's the money coming in? Cap, look, we have to we have to crawl before we walk. A few more shows, a few more themes, and we might get that road show going.
Oh, no doubt.
Captain and Keith on tour.
Dude, and that season one was just so organic and funny and just like those moments and like even that crew and then Yeah, once Keith Stone got cool, man, they were like, there was Arena. Keith Stone's doing Japanese night. And Cap's like, no, Keith Stone is not doing Japanese night, Zarina. Like, you are the chef. You got to do this one on your own. And I remember even being like, dude, Cap's right. Like, we all have a little CEO in us. We just got to believe in ourselves and get out there and shine, you know? He's embracing his inner CEO. He is out there. He is no sideline guy. He's taking one for
Yeah,
the team. How is
like would I as a captain would I dress up in real life and put on speedos and do all this? Definitely not. We've got enough crew to do that, and it's not my
Mhm.
job. We've got other things to do. But in the show, there's firstly we need to get that encouragement like Keith Stone did to get everyone else involved. And look, a lot of these guests, they're coming on. They actually know the show. They kind of want to see myself engaged in that. So if it means bigger tips, like we do
Yeah,
it. And
yeah.
and have fun doing it. And I think it brings us all together and has fun.
And we're trying to show these guests, a great time, send them home with some stories, and that's what
But
I'm,
you've got a great overall. You had a great experience coming out of it, and where you are now.
yeah, no, it was really, and it was such a fun crew to do it with, and then you got someone like,
Yeah,
I never, I'm so naive to Below Deck. I kind of laugh when we did season one. I had no clue who Aisha was. And I was like, "Oh, what's your name?" Aisha.
that's
Nice to
good.
meet you.
Good too.
Yeah, and Aisha's one of my favorite, crewmates and friends I took away from the show. And when we catch up, it's just so organic and she's so cool and like,
I really genuinely think that we get something out of it at the end. You know, like I do every season when I look back.
yeah,
I think some of the things I've got to push through to get to the goal, I look back and just like pat myself on the back and feel like I'm grateful that I actually got through. And I think a lot of crew, although the experience is a bit daunting, and then the whole year of editing, waiting, and then the whole process of it going out, just going, what the hell? When they really dissect it and look back, they go, I've seen myself in a different light, positive, and I've seen that with a few crew members that I've been with when things weren't so great on their show that they've actually used that and turned it to a positive.
yeah,
And you have as well. Not that I'm not going to say anything bad went for you, but I know that you're a bit disgruntled throughout it a couple of times, but that's fatigue and that's situational. And
yeah,
then at the end of the day, you've looked at yourself and look, you're very happy, you're positive, always have been.
yeah,
And now you're kicking on with your health and fitness and putting it online, and you've
yeah,
got a great job.
yeah.
So,
Well,
you know,
and
a great
Cap,
experience.
again, a big milestone we just hit. We just got done the 100-ton at MPT.
I saw that. I should have brought that up. Well done. When you get your certificate, it's just like a weight lifted off, isn't it?
There it is. Cap, I almost want to frame this bad boy.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
They
Why
make
not?
you work hard for that first one.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh
mate, it's
man.
for sure, but it's such an accomplishment. And you get
Yeah.
so much out of your certification when you do it. I remember doing mine and just like, oh, wow, I'm glad I did it. I've learned so much. I can't wait to
Yeah.
put that in practice.
Yeah.
And that's what it's for. It's you need to be doing. I'm glad. Congratulations.
Dude,
So,
like I had this tough instructor and she had my number quick and she was like I mean it was probably more challenging than any college course, high school thing I've ever done. I think cuz it's like a semester of work they're just like piling on you
yeah.
in 2 weeks
But they
and
don't want you to fail either. They want you to
no.
succeed, but they actually obviously don't want to let anything through that is not ready
Yeah.
as well. You know, that's good. I'm glad. Look, MPT seem to be. Look, I've done a couple of courses there,
Mhm.
and I'm actually quite impressed with them a
Yeah,
lot.
I'll tell you what. I was bragging at the yard today. I got this crazy yard worker that works for me, and he was very jealous that I was in the captain's lounge, the first podcast. And I think you might know who he is. He was so jealous, so angry. I got him doing some plumbing on the boat, a little painting.
Yeah, who is it?
He's around. If you have enough time on the podcast,
Yeah, I
we
got
could do a
5 minutes.
lightning. Do
I
you
got 5, 10 minutes. Okay,
character? Let me
right.
go
Okay,
grab. Hold on one second. Hold
right.
on one second.
Okay,
Let me
little
go get.
surprise.
Hey, is that Captain Jason? Yeah,
It's,
that's Keith. Are you gonna say hey to him real quick? Oh,
yes, mate. Bring it on.
I got some questions for him. Hold up, hold up. I know, I know, I know that ain't Captain Jason. Hold on one.
Casey
Hold
Stone.
on.
How
Hold
long's it
on one
been, brother?
second. Oh, Captain Jason, I had to jump on here for your first podcast. Congratulate you. Hold on once. I even brought a little celebratory one.
Mate, I've only got the water.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I'd love to have another beer with you, Keithy.
My gosh, Captain
Mate, you've been
Jason,
busy.
I've been busier than ever. Culver's got me freaking painting. I got a cigarette in one hand, my paintbrush in the other. Just we
Yeah.
trying to get ready for the West Palm Beach Boat Show. It's a big push. We gonna make it happen.
Yeah, for some reason you look like a spray painter.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah, yeah.
You know I
I can
do it
see you
all.
out there. Or a
I do it
welder.
all.
Or a
You know,
welder.
we got to make them bills somehow. So whether it's doing some dancing, a little painting,
Mate,
a little plumbing, we
mate,
do it all.
it's like the captain's getting 2 for 1. You know,
Yes,
it's
you damn right. That's a jack of all trades right there. I got the lightning round for you, Cap. All right. We got some questions. I know you were just on season 3.
right.
Let me ask you this. Who was the new CEO on that boat? Who was bringing the electric energy you felt like? I know Harry's in the mix. He was a junior CEO when I was around. How did Mr. Harry do it? Or was there anyone else that stepped into the CEO role?
To be quite honest, Keithy, since your departure, the position hasn't been filled. We've still got an opening position.
Jesus Christ. Mm,
There's no use trying to bring in second best, you know. You're only going to look like an idiot, you know. You
that's
need to, if you're going to try and top Keithy, you need to do it well.
and like I say, everyone got that CEO in them. Who would you say was whose enthusiasm, electric energy was at the highest after the season? I know they put a lot on you, Cap.
Look, I, I season 2, you know, the budgie smugglers came out, and I wanted to never bring them out again. I will say that every crew member on our deck did step up. They did step up. I wouldn't say they're definitely at your level, but they all took ownership of our theme nights and got into it. There was
Okay.
probably a little bit too much pelvic thrusting in some of the charters, I must admit.
Hey, that's gonna be all right sometimes, and like we always say, Cal, you got to work for that tip, baby. They ain't gonna just hand it
No,
over. You got to
you got to,
work for it.
you got to read the room and feel the rhythm. You know.
That's right, Cap. Feel the room, feel the rhythm, baby. I like that. I'm gonna get a T-shirt with that on it. Let me ask you this: how hot was that galley this season, and how was Serena's food? Because my God, I love to eat. How
Yeah,
was her
missing that.
food this season?
But that galley was actually down. It had no portholes, so it was actually kind of a bit of a down in the dungeon kind of feel. And I can see
Whoa.
Serena. I needed a bit of fresh air, but the food was good. And I must admit, I love the fact that some of the Wagyu steak came.
That was always our Cap. I saved
Oh,
you a
mate,
piece
I
over
was
here.
there. I was there ready to clean up and help.
No, that's always our that's where to
People
find
think
me.
I'm down in that galley helping out, you know, because I'm just such a good captain. I'm down there to
Well,
pick up the scraps.
that's right. That's right. A couple dishes, you gonna see some come through you gonna like.
It was so funny when your mate Culver would come in and see me already there, and he just like shake his head, just go, "Shit, the lobster's gone." The Wagyu's.
All right, last question from old Keithy. Was there any first of your yachting career that happened this past season? Any moments or maybe let me ask this. What was your favorite moment of this season? And are you allowed to share that or your worst moment of this season?
I think the first is coming up in the next episode. We're up to
Okay.
episode 3 or 4 now, I think. Yeah, so yeah, a little jet ski goes for a rollover. So yeah, but this jet ski comes back bobbing up like a whale.
Okay, you're right.
Like
You know what? This is like, I don't know where y'all got this jet ski, but y'all set us up for failure.
yeah.
We've never seen in our whole career where they get a jet ski doing the working at SeaWorld or something.
Mate, I'll end on this. There is always position for you on board.
Yeah,
What
I
about
love
as a
it.
charter guest? What about as a charter
I love,
guest?
tell you what, I keep painting, I keep dancing. I'm gonna buy me one of these damn yachts one of these
You
days.
do that. You do that.
I'll say this: you and I, we had a run, brother,
Oh,
an
we did.
electric energy run. We paved a mean road.
Look, I've been a bit busy. You get those boats painted, and look, we can still bring the road tour back.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna grab Culver. He's gonna sign off. All right, you gonna say bye. But I just
Perfect.
wanted to congratulate you
Thanks,
on the new
brother. I really appreciate
contract.
it. I know you got to get back to work.
Hold on, yep, you already know. Hold on now. Hold up. Oh man, hold on. Where's he? Oh, Whoa, man, Cap.
Oh, that was a surprise.
That Keithy. He's a
I didn't know
wild
you,
man.
mate. He gets around.
He does. He's busy. Dude, I miss you, Cap. We had some daggone good times on board, and I loved working for you. I always felt like I could go to you, and whether it was work or even if it was some outside of work, I could pull you aside, and Cap was always, listen, and you always knew how to pick, and that was something you were very good at, Cap, is picking people up, getting them going again. And I thank you for always, kind of being in my corner and being there, whether it was a work related issue or a personal
Yeah.
issue. But no,
I think, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm definitely going to start taking on compliments because we all deserve them,
yeah,
and rather than brushing them off. So I really appreciate it. But
sure.
I think it's easier, much going forward, just for yourself. What I've learned is just keep it simple. What are we trying to achieve? We're trying
Hmm.
to achieve a great working environment that we can actually have fun in, and
Hmm.
respect each other and work hard
Dude, for
and then get the tips at the end. So if you try and actually add all these side bits to it and rules and regulations and all that, everyone needs to actually understand, be professional, be respectful, be mature, and then after that, if you lose sight, we're only just trying to actually work together and have fun.
dude, and
So that's what we're trying to achieve. Because this
that,
is a blimp in our life, and I trust me, you're going to want to look back on it and not feel like, wow, I missed out on that opportunity.
dude,
Because I actually was too tied up, I was too uptight, and I really just didn't crack on and enjoy the environment. Everything's hard in life,
yeah,
so and just enjoy it.
exactly. So,
Mate, I love talking to you. Thank you very much. I do have to run because I've got to get
yeah.
going. And thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm going to see you at the end of March. We'll have a big cold
Oh,
lager.
yeah, Cap. That sounds good, brother. I love you. Be safe. Keep on with the adventure, and we'll catch up soon.
Thanks, brother. Here's you,
Yeah.
man. Love you
All
heaps.
right, Cap. See ya.
See you, champ. Bye.